I never imagined the day I'd stand in the middle of a sun-drenched backyard, watching my sister's world crumble like a cheap deck of cards. But there I was, Emily Carter, clutching a folder that held the key to years of silent suffering. The air was thick with the scent of blooming lilacs and barbecue smoke. But underneath it all simmered the rot of betrayal that had festered in our family for far too long. It was March 15th, 2024. At Sophia and David's 10th anniversary party in their rented Craftsman home in Boulder, Colorado, a house they paraded as their own slice of the American dream on Instagram, complete with filtered photos of garden parties and family barbecues. Little did they know, the deed bore my name. Hidden behind an LLC I'd set up to shield myself from their grasping hands. As the guests clinked champagne glasses and laughed under string lights, I felt the weight of every ignored slight, every stolen dollar, pressing down on me like an invisible storm cloud ready to burst. Growing up in the shadow of Denver's Rocky Mountains, I was the middle child caught in the crossfire of favoritism that no one ever admitted to. Sophia, my older sister, was the shining star at the one who married her high school sweetheart David, a slick insurance salesman with a smile that could sell flood coverage in the desert. They had 2 kids, a golden retriever, and the kind of life my parents, Grace and Robert, held up as the gold standard. Then there was Liam, my younger brother, the eternal screw-up whose charm always bought him another chance, whether it was bailing him out of a failed craft beer startup or covering his rent after yet another surefire investment tanked. Me? I was the steady one. The reliable Emily who graduated from CU Boulder with a degree in digital communications, landed a solid job as a content strategist at Peak Digital in Denver, and never asked for a dime. But reliability came with a price tag in my family. It made me invisible. Except when they needed a handout. The cracks started showing early. But I patched them over with excuses, telling myself blood was thicker than water. Back in 2016, Liam showed up at my modest apartment in Lodo, eyes wide with that puppy dog plea, waving a crumpled business plan for a mobile app that would revolutionize local food delivery. Just need seed money. He begged. Mom and Dad are tapped out on their pension, and Sophia's got the kids' braces to pay for. I hesitated, my savings account flashing in my mind, money I'd scrimped for a rainy day. But family guilt won out. I cut him a check for $7,500. The app? It fizzled like a dud firework. When I brought it up at Easter brunch, Mom shushed me with a tight smile. He's trying, Emily. You know how hard it is out there. Besides, with your salary, you can bounce back. Dad just nodded, avoiding my eyes, as if my success was a burden they all had to bear. By 2018, the pattern had woven itself into the fabric of our lives. Sophia called one frantic afternoon before Thanksgiving, her voice cracking like she was auditioning for a soap opera. The turkey's a disaster. And David's folks are coming, everything's falling apart. I offered to swing by and help cook, but she pivoted smoothly. Actually, I found this amazing caterer, but they need a $900 deposit ASAP. And our card's over the limit from holiday prep. Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. I transferred the money. At the dinner table, she basked in the praise for the homemade spread, shooting me a glare that dared me to spill the beans. When I tried to share my recent award for a viral social media campaign at work, the conversation swerved to Liam's new girlfriend, leaving me chewing on silence and resentment. The real gut punch came in mid-2019 during a family meeting at my parents' ranch-style home in Aurora. They were revising their estate plan, divvying up the cabin up in Estes Park, a place of faded childhood memories with creaky docks and summer bonfires. It goes to Sophia and Liam, Dad announced matter-of-factly. I blinked, the words hanging heavy. What about me? Liam actually piped up, surprising everyone. Mom patted my knee like I was a child throwing a tantrum. Oh, honey, you've got your career. You don't need it like they do. It stung like salt in a fresh wound, my independence twisted into a reason to exclude me, as if earning my keep made me less deserving of legacy. That night, driving home under a starless sky, I felt the first flicker of something darker than hurt, a quiet rage building like pressure in a fault line. The pandemic years amplified it all. In early 2021, I got promoted to senior strategist, a role I'd clawed for with late nights and endless pitches. Calling home to share, Mom sighed like I'd confessed to a crime. I'm happy for you, but I worry you're sacrificing a real life for work. Sophia's expecting again. Now that's something to celebrate. They reframed my victories as selfishness, my child-free life as an excuse to extract more. I became the unspoken benefactor, covering Liam's car repairs after a minor fender bender, footing the bill for family vacations I barely attended, all while they whispered about my empty existence. By Christmas Eve 2023, the tension had coiled tight as a spring. I arrived at the upscale Evergreen Lodge in the foothills, arms laden with a pricey bourbon I'd agonized over. The place sparkled with holiday lights and evergreen garlands. But as I lingered by the entrance, I overheard Sophia chatting with our cousin Megan near the roaring fireplace. She doesn't have a family of her own. What else is she gonna spend on? Sophia giggled, her voice laced with that familiar condescension. Honestly, she owes us for keeping the holidays alive. Megan chuckled. Did she even notice the charge? Sophia smirked. Nah. I used her card from that time she got Liam those Nuggets tickets. She never checks. My blood turned to ice. That $4,200 hit on my statement. I'd chalked it up to a glitch. But this? Theft. Plain and simple. From my own flesh and blood. I wove through the crowd, relatives from both sides. Even Dad's old army buddy, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. At the seating chart, my name was nowhere. Confronting Sophia by the dessert table, her face twisted from surprise to scorn. Oh, get over it. You've got that cushy job, it's not like it hurts you. When I whispered fraud, she laughed it off. Family doesn't steal from family, we share. Mom and Dad materialized, hissing for me to not spoil the evening. In that moment, surrounded by indifferent faces, I saw the truth. I wasn't family, I was a resource. Mined until dry. Walking out into the biting Colorado wind, snowflakes stinging my face. A calm settled over me like a blanket. They weren't my anchors, they were chains. What they didn't know was my secret arsenal. Great-Aunt Evelyn had willed me her townhouse in Golden 5 years back. An inheritance I buried deep, fearing they'd swarm like locusts. I flipped it into rentals, invested wisely, and by 2022, bought a second property cash, a charming bungalow in Wash Park. But the crown jewel was Echo Strategies, my side hustle digital agency that exploded after a client campaign hit TikTok Gold in 2023. With 180,000 followers and a portfolio worth over $750,000, I was no longer surviving, I was soaring. And the irony? That Boulder craftsman Sophia rented, the one she flaunted as her forever home, I'd snapped it up in foreclosure through my LLC, using a management firm to keep my name invisible. Their rent checks funded my freedom. After that Christmas debacle, I lawyered up with Harlan and Associates, specialists in fraud and real estate. The lodge's security cams captured Sophia's confession crystal clear, evidence that could sink her. I bided my time, the anger simmering low, until Sophia's anniversary invite pinged the family chat. Backyard bash at our place. Mom's on food, don't worry. Emily. No tab for you this time. Winking emoji included. Like a slap. I recruited Megan, who'd witnessed too much of the favoritism and grown sick of it. "I've got your back," she whispered. Sophia's had this coming. March 15th dawned crisp and warm. Perfect for outdoor drama. I arrived in a sharp navy suit, folder in hand. As guests milled on the lawn with flutes of bubbly, Sophia glittered in a sequined gown, David at her side like a propped-up mannequin. Megan had rigged a projector for the anniversary montage. Spotting me, Sophia's smile cracked. "What are you doing here?" The chatter died. "Just inspecting my investment," I said coolly. David snorted. "Excuse me." I handed the deed to Megan, who beamed it large. Owner, Emily J. Carter. Dated January 22nd, 2023. Gasps rippled like wildfire. Sophia blanched, her glass slipping. This can't be." "No mistake," I continued, voice steady as steel. "I've owned this for over a year. And here's your eviction notice, 30 days. Whispers erupted. Mom clutched Sophia. Dad stood statue still. Then, the bombshell. Megan projected the lodge footage. Sophia's words damning in high def. I reported the $4,200 fraud. "But drop it if you pay up now." Liam slunk away. Guests bolted like rats from a sinking ship. "You're destroying us," Mom wailed. Megan raised her glass to Emily, the one who held it all together. And Uncle chuckled ruefully. "Should have bet on you from the start." The fallout hit like an avalanche. Sophia wired the money next day, terrified of charges tanking David's career. I enforced the eviction, no mercy. Megan's subtle TikTok post about family karma with veiled screenshots went viral. 200,000 views overnight. My agency surged. David's client list shrank amid the online buzz. I cut contact, relocating Liam to my parents' spare room after his latest flop. Sophia and David crammed into a dingy apartment in Longmont. Their feeds gone quiet. Revenge tasted bitter. Not sweet, a necessary purge that left scars. Months later, the fire cooled to embers. I thrived in my Wash Park home. Echo Strategies expanding to a team of 4, landing Fortune 500 gigs. I hosted gatherings with Megan and allies weary of the old toxicity. Sophia texted, "Can we meet?" I ignored it at first, but liberation bred openness. Dad emailed humbly, "I failed you." We met at a downtown cafe. Him listening, really listening, for once about my world. Monthly coffees followed. Tentative bridges over old chasms. Liam sought career advice. No strings, he's apprenticing as a mechanic now. Shedding the entitlement. Sophia and I finally talked over lattes. No David in tow. Defenses up. Then down, admissions of jealousy. Of roles we were boxed into. Mom's letter arrived. Pages of raw regret. No guile. We strolled a garden. Words halting but honest. No fairy tale fix, wounds linger. Trust fragile. But in choosing boundaries, I found peace, not in their suffering, but in my refusal to suffer. The house? New tenants. A teacher and accountant. Cherish it without drama. As I watched sunsets from my porch, I know revenge was the spark, but freedom the flame. The family I craved wasn't bloodbound, it was chosen, built on respect. And in that, I found home not in deeds or dollars, but in the quiet strength of standing alone. Then inviting in those who see me whole.